Hi everybody, welcome to Como Live, brought to you by the Legacy Amendment. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about our two Pattis monkeys. Their names are Tyler and Julie, and today happens to be Julie's birthday. So she turns 12 today, so that's really exciting. Pattis monkeys are an old world monkey, that's what we refer to them as. Old world meaning Asia, Africa. And so there's a difference between Old World and then New World. So New World is like the Americas, North America, Central America, and South America. And so Old World monkeys, you may have seen some before if you've ever seen a macaque or a colobus or any mid-sized monkey like that. It's generally an Old World monkey. And these guys are specifically from the Sahara of Africa, so the east-west strip of the Sahara, and they prefer to live in really low-density grassland. So they don't want a whole lot of trees, they don't want a whole lot of bushes, and the reason for that is that these guys are incredibly fast. You may notice that Julie here in the front is kind of built like a greyhound dog. Like, she's really skinny, she's really fit, she has nice muscles, and that's because this species is one of the fastest primates in the world. So these guys can run up to 35 miles per hour, and that's why they want big grasslands, because that's their primary way to escape predators, is to run really fast. So Julie is a good example of that. You can see her muscles on her shoulders. She's nice and slender. You'll also see that they have some face markings, so their fur is different colors. Sometimes this is to show emotion so that they can tell other primates what they're thinking, what they're feeling. You'll also see, you may see that they have really big canine teeth. So that's like our canine teeth or a dog's canine teeth. They're really long. And that's primarily to tell other primates as well, like, don't come into my territory. So they'll show their teeth to other monkeys. And then these guys will primarily eat bugs, sap, what they call gum, which is a sap that comes out of a tree, insects, and some veggies if they can find it. And then in human care, we feed them lots of veggies, bugs. We do have some gum or sap that we give them as enrichment. And so that's kind of similar. And then they also get a biscuit. And the biscuit is kind of like a dog food, like that you would see at home, one of those dry biscuits. And it's specifically formulated for primates. So that's awesome, and they love those. So Julie just turned 12. Tyler, her partner, is 9. And these two are a breeding pair, so they are allowed to have offspring if they want. And then Pattis monkeys will generally live into their 20s. So 20 would be a good age for a Pattis to live to. In human care, they can live into their mid-20s. And so that's the lifespan that we would expect. You can see here Julie is interacting with some of her enrichment that we gave them today. Enrichment is something that we give them to help stimulate their natural behaviors and keep them occupied throughout the day. So this particular enrichment is what we call a forage board. And so it mimics searching for bugs or peeling away bark for sap. And so we fill it with various things that they're interested in, mashed bananas, applesauce, things like that. And then we sometimes freeze it in the freezer so that it's nice and hard. And so they have to pick at it throughout the day to get that mashed banana or applesauce out of the forage board. And this is a behavior that you'd probably see in the wild as well. So we love to see that from them. Pattis monkeys usually live in a variety of group sizes. It depends very much on what resources are available. So if there's not very many resources, they do split off into smaller groups to go look for resources. But if there's ample resources, they'll kind of conglomerate into bigger groups. There have been groups of Pattis observed in Africa that were up to 60 individuals, and that is huge. That's not very common, but you can find them in groupings of 30, 35. And it's usually all females with one dominant male. And the dominant male will allow the females to have male offspring around as well. So if they have a young male offspring, that's okay. But then when he reaches just about maturity, he'll leave the group. And he'll either go on his own for a little while, or the males also have been seen forming what's called a bachelor troop. So it's a group of males that hang out while they're getting older and stronger. And then during breeding season, which for them is during the wet season in Africa, younger males that have reached maturity in these bachelor troops will confront the bigger female troops and try and overthrow the male and see if they can breed with any of the females as well. So that's generally their hierarchy. You can see Tyler here is making eye contact with us, which is adorable. And you can see his canines there. A fun fact about primates is that generally eye contact is considered like a aggressive facial expression. We prefer eye contact as humans when we talk to each other. Primates often do not, and so they'll look directly at other primates, and that's a gentle sign that they do not want you in their area. If they look away, though, that usually means that they're comfortable with you in that area. And so Tyler has actually been seen interacting with some of his enrichment that's a mirror, so a reflective surface, and he'll use mirrors to observe the public and to observe his keeper staff without having to look right at them, kind of like the basilisk in Harry Potter. So he is highly sensitive to eye contact, and so he actually found tools to help him interact with his surroundings, which was pretty cool, and he's really good at that. You may have noticed, if you saw Tyler next to Julie, he is bigger. So males are bigger than the females by almost double. And so that's what we call sexual dimorphism, meaning that the two genders are different in some way of their shape. So for him, it's that he's bigger. And then you'll see throughout the day too, if you ever come and watch the Pattis, that they will groom each other. And you may be wondering, do they have bugs? Why are they grooming each other? And generally, no, they don't have any pests like they would have in the wild. But grooming for them is a really strong bonding activity for primates, especially old world monkeys. And so they do this a lot in the wild. Even it has been seen that after a fight between dominant males or dominant females, they will then groom each other to help rekindle any lost bond from a debate. So that's a very common thing to see. It calms them down and it helps bond them to each other. So that's a natural behavior. It doesn't always mean that they have bugs. So yeah, that's a little bit about our Pattis monkeys here, Tyler and Julie. Happy birthday, Julie. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them below and we'll try our best to get back to you and answer your questions. Thanks for joining us.